I can see an innate desire, sword in hand, warriors side by side. I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side. But that's what this mandates. Be it might, and unlikely allegiance. We will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back, for such is our path. Is clear as we ride against a dark empire. By my soul, may the last thing they hear be the roar of this raging fire. Disobey the savagery mindset. Not today, we'll let loose and find it. Brutal will define our reaction. Rip out the throat of this one imperfection. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find the glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for right is the path. They shall remember glorious death. Are beaten and broken down. I shed not a tear. After all, this is why we are here. A war we were not supposed to win. If I'm to die tonight, I'll kill every demon that stands in my time. Go!
Footing Services has a bundle for all budgets. You can be fully protected with emergency response for just $49.99.
Boom! It's Braxcast time once again, guys. And yeah, I mean, this is a pretty exciting time for the Rippaverse. Not only do we have the Curse and Black Eyed Club finally released, we're going to be going into that. We're also on fulfillment for Norfolka and Horseman. I got the Norfolka concept art book shipped out to me. None of like my I Want It All. But I've got all my Horseman stuff on the way. But I'm probably going to get to those reviews after Thanksgiving. So it'll probably be sometime in December when I get to reviewing Norfolka and Horseman number 2. And this week's episode of Braxcast, recorded ones I do, um that'll be covering, Curse Black Eyed Club. And then next, the one after that will probably be something. It actually is going to be something that's not Horseman or Norfolk related, and then I'll catch up the week I get back from visiting the family. But anyways, let's go through the introductions. We've got the chat in here. Of course, we got GDV. I'm not sure. I might have seen you once or twice, but nice to have you here. You got your Norfolk ship yesterday. Will be getting to you on Monday, which is cool. And also like in the Norfolka intro that I use the Norfolka song as the intro. I do like that part when Dan goes like haha, and I just love I love that entire song. And we're finally going to get the book so we can actually like really get into the story of Norfolka. We've got Merc Lounge in here as well, and of course we've got Ram here as well, regular in the chat. So fantastic showing. Hopefully you guys are having a good Friday night. Of course, like I said, it's the week before Thanksgiving, so pretty sure I'm going to take next week off. I was thinking maybe I do like a live stream on like Wednesday, the day before I leave to go, I guess, back to my old stomping ground at this point. It's certainly not my home anymore, my old stomping ground, visiting the family. I was thinking I'll just take next week off from live streaming, and then we'll be back on the regular schedule the following week. But I should still be able to get an episode out on Saturday. But like I said, it's not going to be covering all this really relevant stuff that's going on in the Rippaverse like it usually would, because it's just fulfilling at that time. So Andrew's in the chat saying, hope you all are excited to get your Horseman and Norfolk orders. I certainly am. I am excited to get those reviews out. But like I said, it's going to be sometime in December, most likely, when I get to review those. Instead of it being, what I said, what do you mean? Instead of it being like as soon, I still got to catch up on the other reviews that I got to do. Hopefully I can get them all done. Let's see. So, but yeah, that was really exciting to get this one. Horseman number 2, it's going to be really dope. And then, of course, we're going to be getting Norfolka as well. Those are both going to be really, really exciting to get into. But I figure what we ought to get into, got to remove. We add this to the stage. So what we've got here, guys, is the fact that we've got 2 books released. So while we can be all hyped for the Horseman, like Ram is, and of course for Norfolka, since we ordered those. Well, Norfolka like in the summer. It took a while for it to start fulfilling because I was at Pork Fest when I back in June when I remember backing that, and now it's coming to us, which is really really it's fun. It took a while, around 5-ish months, but Horseman has a much faster turnaround time. So and getting them both at the same time, really really cool stuff. But anyways, that's not the only news of the week, right? We've got the Black Eyed Club and we've got the Curse. So I am really cool with or really interested in, I'd say, both of these stories, right? And of course, we can go for Black Eyed Club part 1. We can go through basically all these covers. I think I'm definitely not going to be printing out all of these covers when I do the episode, but we can go over them now. So of course, we got the A cover. If I can get cover A is by Kanan White. Cover B is by Gabriel Icano. Cover C is by Yevgeny Sokolov and Marcos Martin, and then cover D is by Kanan White as well. Of course, this is like a really like brutal A cover here for the Black Eyed Club, I ought to say. And of course, we got Garfield in the chat, which is really cool to see. Always love seeing Garfield in the chat. And of course, we are going to get to cover C on the curse, but we're going to save that one for a little bit later. Actually, after we go through basically all these covers here. Cover B, this isn't a retro cover, a little bit disappointing. This is certainly a good one, though, I believe. There we go. Ooh, fantabulous. Cover B is by Gabriel Icano. And I keep going towards the wrong one, clicking the wrong one. But this is definitely a nice cover. I like this, team up shot. You got Michael in the back with his eyes all like flowing out. Very intimidating, right? And then we've got C, which is of course the foiled and embossed cover. And this is really like that ultimate like Playboy energy. Love that. You got like the babe down here. You've got his baddies right next to him, and he's got like that. I always it's like casual pants, but he's got like the blazer. He's got like the dress shirt, no tie. And to me, like you wear a full suit with the tie, like it makes you look really formal. And I personally like that look. Michael Copper hung out with Diddy. I would say so. But anyways, where you got like this dress shirt, it's unbuttoned, no tie, like it just gives you that kind of like Playboy aesthetic, and I'm really here for it. Whereas you wear the tie, you got the 3-piece suit with the tie. It just makes you look very like prim and proper, which again I appreciate that look. After I bought a full suit, like I actually like dressing up like that. Of course, I don't do that all the time, but I appreciate that aesthetic. But like this is something like I really think is it's a cool look for Michael to have, and I just like how this was drawn. And of course the C covered, which I believe is the foiled and embossed by Yevgeny Sokolov, if I can say that correctly. And then this is of course our D cover, which is done by Kanan White, and this is the one that was revealed when we got these books revealed to us just about a year ago, just under a year ago. Because it was about 11, it'll be 11 months in about 6 days. So basically a year ago at this point. Let's see. So the fact that the Black Eye Club will shed some focus on heroes in France intrigues me, certainly so. And then, of course, I think Lillian had a husband that was murdered in The Cursed. That's really interesting. Garfield says, which are you more excited for, Horseman 2 or Norfolka? Honestly, it's a hard one to say, Garfield, but I'd say slightly more for Horseman 2, because that cliffhanger for the first Horseman was just like, man, I really need to know what happens next. Whereas with Norfolka, like it's diving into a new story. But like Horseman 2, like I need to get in on that, man. I really need to find out what happens next in Hector's story. So I'd say Horseman 2, but it just edges out slightly. It's so hard for me to be like, oh, what am I more hyped for in the Rippaverse? Because I get very consistently excited for just about everything that comes out, because I like everything that comes out. Because that's what Glenn Beck is paying me to do. And anyways, that's a dumb joke, but let's see here. Anyways, like that, I don't know. I was doxing myself, but anyways, that address I put it as my public review one, anyways. So that's the good thing. That's the good thing there. So we got the Black Eyed Club. And this is, of course, Some Monsters Wear Human Faces. Sylvia Soska brings a story where beauty becomes a weapon and power feeds on the innocent. Paris bleeds. Michael Copper, the Black Eye Club, follows a 56-page story of a seductive empire built on fame, fear, and blood as the enigmatic mogul Michael Copper faces with the rafts of Europe's greatest heroes, the Hellhounds, in a battle where every secret comes with a body count. Yeah, that's interesting for me. Hey, hook it up with some of that Glenn Beck money. Yeah, Andrew, I am not giving you a dime of my Glenn Beck money, because you would just spend it all on Barefoot Wine and Franzia, you freaking wine mom. I gotta cut you off, man. Again, like I'll send you the chat on Discord, so you can come at me and you can complain. But like all I would ask is for you to like put the Franzia down. No Barefoot Wine, no Merlot or anything like that. Like you can't wine mom it up on the live stream. I will slap the taste out of your mouth. You're so hard, your ancestors will feel it. You see, this is what happens when you get like through the first box of Franzia. You say stuff like that. So like again, you're just proving my point. Okay. Uh, let's see. I've seen that apparently Glenn Beck and the Zionists are funding the Rippaverse. What's even more hilarious is that first they said it was Lauren Chen and the Russians funding the Rippaverse. I never heard that one. I just heard the Glenn Beck one, and that's what Vito was pushing a lot, I believe. But anyways, I kind of leaned into that meme a little bit there. Anyways, like it's like the kind of like joke I love to make. But yeah, it's all really, really stupid stuff. But that was the whole thing. Because had to do with the Blaze. Because Eric July is a contributor to the Blaze. And I believe for ISOM #1, he used like some of their studios to film the trailer. So of course, that means it's all entirely a psyop by Glenn Beck. That's the working theory there. Of course, like there's all these other like things that they think about. Like I said, I wrote like a 4,000 word article like deconstructing this nonsense. It's just that in depth, man. But anyways, we're not here to talk about the Rippaverse conspiracy theories, even though they are funny. What I want to talk about is the Curse and the Black Eye Club. Of course, like Michael Copper facing off against the Hellhounds in France. So this is going to be like an international story. So this really gives us the answer that I was having in the last week. There we go. Was if this is going to be like focusing on them in Forest Park, or is it going to be focusing them like their origins? This seems to be more or less their origins, because they're not even going to be in the continent where Forest Park is, right? They're going to be in Europe and Asia, respectively. And maybe we'll end up with a meeting in an airport or something like that. Who knows? But it's going to be, I'm speaking of it like this is one story. So these are both 56 pages. So these are going to be decently sized books. You're going to think like maybe 2-3-ish monthly floppies is what you're going to get out of this content here. Saska's, both of them, when they work together, are really good at using their pages effectively. I'm sure that's going to hold true for these solo outings that they're going to have. But we are going to get into, let's see, also what happened with the internet a few days ago. Rippaverse site that was all along with a lot of other sites as well. I believe there was a cyber attack against Cloudflare. And Cloudflare is like, I forget it exactly, but it's like a cybersecurity service, or just like a service where a lot of internet traffic is like funneled through. And I believe Rippaverse uses WordPress, so they probably use Cloudflare to distribute a lot of the traffic. And when that went down, you couldn't access that. So yeah, I was like, that was whatever. It was like, I think it was like Tuesday morning, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, Tuesday morning when that happened. I couldn't post the my podcast episode on Twitter until that evening when everything came back up. So yeah, it was a Cloudflare outage, and that might have been a cyber attack for Cloudflare. But since Cloudflare does they distribute internet traffic, that's what they do. From my knowledge, I don't know too much about them, but I just know that that service was down, because I clicked on like Twitter wasn't loading at all. So I clicked on like the developer news and just said like Cloudflare was down. It's like the Cloudflare server was down. So my browser was working. My connection was working, but like Cloudflare itself was not working, which is like, oh, okay, it's something with them. So there's no point in me doing anything. And then of course I hear like, oh yeah, like half the internet's down. It's like, okay, it wasn't with me. It wasn't my freaking internet going out again, which was nice for me, but it wasn't nice for that particular day. But it was a couple hours, and then it came back online. And you can of course not like doom scroll incessantly. But that is what happened, Garfield. But anyways, we were going to get into these covers. So Caden White did cover. Yeah, Cloudflare is just a server hosting service that's widely used. So if it goes down, all the connected sites do as well. Yes, that's exactly the way to put it. I think that's the most apt way to put it. Yeah, they just host servers. So like I said, a lot of internet traffic gets funneled through Cloudflare. And when that went down, all these sites went down. But anyways, we've got Kanan White and Candace Hahn on cover A. We've got cover B, which is, or cover B. Yeah. Anyways, we'll go for cover A, right? So we've got cover A here. This is Caden White and Candace Hans. She's a great colorist, and I absolutely love this aesthetic. Of course, I thought it was cover C, but it was actually cover B. And this is like, who boy, man. This is a cover right here. And this is let's see who did this one. It was done by Anton Tarilov, and can I just say, he understood the assignment, man. This is making me feel a certain type of way. This is making me feel the certain type of way that I feel when I look at Common America's unitard. So yeah, of course, I try not to be, lustful. But let's see. Andrew got the link. Appreciate the invite, but I've been feeling too hot most of the time today, so I may pass this time. Yeah, that's okay. You can take off. But like I said, I'm going to suggest you lay off the wine. So lay off the Franzia, drink water, you'll feel better. But yeah, you can sit this one out, champ. Oh, man, I am never letting that joke go. That is like until the end of time. Like I'll be on my deathbed, and the last thing I'll say is like, Andrew, you didn't drink. You drank too much freaking Franzia, man, and that's why I'm on my deathbed. But hopefully you feel better. Honestly, and of course, nothing bad. I just like the meme. So, but yeah, definitely feel better. Thanks for everything you do. Excited for representing number 5. That should be fulfilling soon as well. It's probably going to fulfill before the end of this year. I'll also be in the chat, just not up for streaming right now. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That you'll be in the chat, like I said, and I've got there's actually stuff to talk about this week, and it's not the Roman Empire, but of course I could always talk about the Roman Empire. But anyways, this is, like I said, this is a fantastic cover. Like, this is like, we absolutely love this. And of course, not only does it show like the sensuality, right? Like the eros, the eroticism of Lilian Renashi. It also shows like the danger. Of course, you've got her like aura. You've got this dead guy. Maybe she was having fun with this guy, and then she went like femme fatale on him. Honestly, if I was going to think of a way to end, it was after a night with a very svelte Asian lady. Probably would be like one of the best ways to go. Not that like you ought to do that, not you shouldn't be, you should be, but like if I had to, man, that's what the flesh wants. And I've listened to the flesh way too many times in my life. And I probably would. I'd go into it like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get Black Widowed, and I just don't care. I'm gonna have fun. So we'll probably see something like this, but I love this sort of character. Like, it's one of the reasons why I love Bayonetta. Even though Bayonetta isn't going around like sleeping with people, like she's a very like sensual character. And she's also very strong and assured, right? Which is like, you play the Bayonetta games and you feel like the power and the sexuality that Bayonetta has. And this is one of the things that like it makes it such a great like it makes it like such a great dynamic, and I definitely feel like we're going to get that just based off this cover. Of course, this is an American comic book, so this could be just something that like Anton thought that would be really cool. Yeah, so, and it doesn't show up in the book. John Longbox is in the chat. He's saying still fulfilling Heroic Tales 2. I got mine. I haven't unboxed it yet, John. I'm so sorry, but I will be reading and reviewing it. I have it. I've just been, I don't know, too lazy to open it up, but I got the mailer. So Andrew's hair is not done up yet. Yeah, well, again, you can't take care of yourself if you're chugging the Franzia. This is what I'm trying to explain to him. It's like no, man. Let's see. Mike has bad knees. That's Stop the Madness, I believe. That is Mike has bad knees. I think it's changed to like the from to your handles instead of like what your names are on YouTube. StreamYard's confusing. But anyways, I know that Mike has bad knees. Who's got his from John, reading it tomorrow. So hopefully he enjoys it. Of course, hail to the chat. And of course, really cool that he's fulfilling Heroic Tales number 2. But we are moving on from this cover, guys. Unfortunately, we're going to cover C. And this is done by Barao Aguirre, if I'm even saying that correctly. But this is going to be the foiled and embossed. This is, of course, just like a big shot of Lilian. Of course, I think cover B's is, of course, better. if I do say so myself. But this is a good one. I love how it shows off Lillian. Again, you got that power, you got that sensuality there as well. I'd say cover B does a better job of this, but this is definitely going to be a cool one. It's going to look cool since it will be foiled and embossed, right? And of course, we've got the D cover, which is done by Ronaldson and Marcos Martins. Let's see here. We've got that right there. And of course, I got to address that Mary Sue can beat Saoirse, which again, I'll need to read Heroic Tales #2 and give my evaluation. But even then, I need to read Saoirse #1, which should be launching this year, right? It should be. So I imagine we're going to get that probably in a couple of weeks at this point. And I'll have to check the spreadsheet again. Honestly, we might be able to bring that up. Checking out the spreadsheet. So we got Rippaverse Comics right here. We can go to well, we can go into yeah, because I don't want to show off my like bidness stuff. But we can go home and then do. But yeah, while that's happening, so we got Sun Devil Emily who and Emily Kruger. I think this is the same person. Really cool to see you in the chat once again. And then we've got, let's see here. Oh, yeah, so Rip a Field Tracker. Let's see. So I can say that Norfolka Glorious Death is fulfilled. And then we can got, let's see here. Maybe we can actually update that to pre-orders open. And then we can update, let's see. Yeah, these two pre-orders open. And then you can open this up to pre-orders open. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just editing my Excel spreadsheet. So like I said, I made this Rip Reveal tracker a while ago, and we can like zoom in on it like that. Hopefully you guys can see this. So we've got Salvage Lethal Force, which we got to get to. Delta Base and Gooding are probably not going to launch until 2025. And then so we got so we got to get Salvage and we got to get Saoirse by this year. So it's going to be 2 books. So I think in December we're going to see Saoirse and Saoirse and Salvage launch. And those will launch around the same time, and those will probably fulfill in the same time slot, like Q1 26, and it'll be a little bit later. But those are the 2 ones that we have. Everything else was talked about like it'll be in 26, not necessarily 25. And then hopefully we get another Rip of Veal around December. I would love for it to be like a yearly thing that they do, like at the end of every December. Hey, this is what we're doing for the next upcoming year. I think that would be a really cool thing, and I think they're definitely justified in doing that. And then it gives people like stuff to look forward to. And then of course they just randomly drop stuff. Of course, they never talked about the detention crew at the Reveal, but it's happening. I never talked about I don't know. I can't exactly remember. I never talked about like any of the issues of the Ripazine, like Ripazine 5, but we got Ripazine 4, Ripazine 5. And we're going to keep getting issues of the Ripazine, so probably ought to be getting one soon. I imagine Ripazine number 6 is going to be coming out probably, I don't know, around the 6th of, not the 6th, around December or January. I'd like, like I said, it should be a seasonal thing. So like, that's what they really ought to be doing. Of course, Andrew, needs to stop chugging the Franzia in order to be in the right frame of mind to be able to do that. But hopefully, even if he does, then he can. Let's see. Zaid is saying, just stopping by to say hi, and that books are being shipped out. I did see that. Zaid Comics is fulfilling The Man with No Strings #0. So I will be getting that pretty soon, and I'll be reviewing that as well. Of course, Andrew is telling me to go to hell Don't worry. I will be. Most like I don't know. I don't want to judge myself, but I certainly deserve it. Especially, man. But I cannot let go of this meme I've made for myself. So, oh man, I at some point it's going to get old. But even when like I think it's already gotten old, but I'm gonna beat this dead horse until it's dust, man. And then I'm going to kill another horse and I'll keep beating that. Much like Andrew devours the Franzia and the Merlot and the Barefoot wine, and I need to get like a bunch of other brand names. But honestly, just send me the ones that you drink, and so I can keep like the variety. Because I feel like I'm just relying. I know you love like I know it's mostly Franzia, a little bit of Merlot, sometimes a Barefoot wine. Maybe you'll go for like you'll go to like a liquor store and you'll get like a rosé or something like that. If you're feeling frisky. Let's see. Yaira Free, Saints and Sinners, Great War 2, Horseman 2 were books delivered this year that weren't advertised at the Rip Reveal. Yes. We did get Horseman number 1 revealed at the Rip Reveal, which, it implied, well, actually not implied, but it's like, hey, we're doing an ongoing Horseman series. So, of course, that meant we need to do, of course, that means that that an Horseman 2 is going to happen. Let's see. So Joker needs to do a stream as either an Orthodox priest. I wouldn't do that unless I actually got ordained, and that would be like I don't know, like a decade minimum if I ever got like ordained as a priest, or as a Roman centurion. I would actually be willing to do that. Like if you get like a centurion costume, I would be willing. I'd be down for that. But not an Orthodox unless I actually became one. And then I'm not sure if I would be live streaming about comic books at all. But yeah, no, honestly, that would not be something I would do. But the Roman Centurion, I would be willing to do. I swear to God, I will shove you in a locker if you show up to a con. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Honestly, good luck with that. I'm not like, oh, I'm the biggest, strongest man you'll ever meet, type of person. But like, I'm 6'1", I'm 205. So like you have to get some muscle on the bones. You have to stop drinking the Franz. You eat some steak and eggs and actually pound the weights. And that's not something your typical wine mom like Andrew can do. Oh man, okay, now I'm being mean. Now I'm being mean. I think I'm being mean. I apologize for that. But again, I feel like these jokes write themselves, man. But anyways, that is of course this little brief overview of the Cursed and the Black Eye Club. Of course, I am joking like way too much, but yes. So this is the biggest one. So we've got the Curse right here, saying that in the heart of neon-soaked Tokyo, beauty and brilliance mask a growing darkness when Lillian discovers her husband, framed robotics engineer Ryu Ishii, if I'm saying that correctly, brutally murdered in their penthouse. Her life is thrown into chaos, but the horror doesn't end with death. Whispers of spirits, cursed technology, and forbidden experiments swirl as Detective Ren Bushida and spirit photographer Kaiko Katayama uncover a sinister truth. Something unnatural walks among them. Haunted by visions and touched by a mysterious violet energy, Lillian must confront the shadows around her and within her before they consume her soul. So it sounds like this is a true origin story. That man, and it seems like she becomes like Lillian or not, like Renashi in the sense that she becomes Lillian Renashi in the sense like she gets her powers and then she'll meet Michael. So again, this really is the fact that like this isn't like showing how they ended up in Florence Park. It's showing more or less their origins. Yes, so I'm apparently going to be fitting into a 1x3 foot locker. Okay, yeah, we'll see that. I do want to go to a con one day, and honestly, man, I think what I'll do is I will unironically show up with a box wine. If I can't bring it into the con, I will say it's in my car, or it's at my hotel room. Do you want it? I don't know. I'll have to look up the policies for whatever con I go to. If like I'm allowed to bring alcohol, if I am, I will do that. I unironically will do that, like to a con. And if like it's like, hey, you want to have a meetup somewhere, I will unironically bring you the box wine. I promise you this, that it is something I will. If I can make it happen, I will make it happen, because at this point it's become too much of a meme. But yeah, I do want to go to a con maybe next year. I should have decent PTO. Let's see. I don't make a policy of going to strange men's hotel rooms. Yeah, I wouldn't go to I wouldn't want it, the meetup to happen in the hotel room. I'd be like, if we were if there's like a meetup or something like that, then I would just very sneakily like bring you the box one. But I'm not sure if it's something I could actually do, because I imagine like cons won't let you bring alcohol into like the floor, or like really anything. So it's something I would have to search up for whatever con I decide to go to that you guys are at. But it'd be something like, just love to do it for the meme. I'd say like most likely thinking about it, it's probably not something I could do, but it would be hilarious if I could. But yeah, like I said, if I can make it happen, then I will make it happen. If I can't, then I can't. But anyways, to me, this is like with Lillian's story, that she's married, right? Um, to a robotics engineer. So it seems like she's like this normal high class lady, and then she becomes this like femme fatale, spiritually powered character. That's interesting, man. And then, of course, with Michael Copper, it seems like he's someone who's always a playboy, and he's just becoming like more of one, or he has these powers and he's just leaning into it. So we'll see how this turns up. But anyways, I think that is really the thing that really primarily interests me. And of course, you've got. I mean, I would get these. I want it all for both of them. I just can't freaking afford it with like, oof, man, with paying the gas bill and rent and all that stuff. So I got the book packs, and that was like a bit too expensive for me. But I got all the books for these, all the covers. So I will be able to show all of these off, and I will be doing the same with that. But of course, you got this poster right here, and this is done by Kanan White. This is a beautiful poster. Of course, Lillian has like that like tight black dress that she wears, and it looks very nice. If I do say so myself, I love like these kinds of dresses. But this is stuff that like women like to wear when they go clubbing. When they get taken out to dinner or stuff like that. This kind of dress, I like it. It's a bit modest, but it's also very sensual. So again, you probably wear like something a little bit looser, a little bit longer if you want to be like, optimally modest. But this is definitely something like, if you're like showing the goods, this is a good way to do it, right? Like that like one, I don't know. There's like stuff like, I like bikinis, but like one piece swimsuits make me feel a certain type of way. I like the unitards that the common girls wear. I like that as well. So, anyways, I just like looking at beautiful women. I will shamelessly admit that. Of course, in this day and age, oh, you're such a bad person. You're a male and you like looking. Oh, that's male gaze. That's sexism. But this is how the human species has propagated itself, is based on like men and women being attracted to each other. That's just the reality of the world. So I'm not going to apologize for that. But anyways, the thing is like, I look but I can't touch. Well, a story in my life, and I'm honestly happy to do so, man. Happy to do so. Let's see. So Kane White is the man, dude. Is a fantastic artist. I wholeheartedly agree. So these 3 posters I have back here, these are all Kane White's posters, and I've got another one, his Great War of Separation poster, to the side where I'm pointing. Like my arm is going out in like the direction, the arm that I'm moving, my right arm. I got a Kane White poster there. I got his Zalen poster in my kitchen. And honestly, I'll eat sitting at my computer a lot of the time. Like I was just having some pasta before the stream started. I was just watching some videos because I don't have to, nobody gets to tell me what to do. And plus, like the kitchen like is just through, like that door right there. So like I just have it open, and I'm just like always like this is like, it's just like I make it like one area, which I really enjoy. So CJ is saying, always love getting a Kanan poster or cover. I wholeheartedly agree. Kanan's art is fantastic, which is why I'm really excited for Saoirse. So if we're going to be talking about, of course, Curse and Black Eyed Club, I'm equally excited for. I think Curse a little bit more, just based on the fact that Lillian has a husband, or had a husband, I ought to say, who gets murdered, and then it seems like she gets her powers. And of course, like look at this, man. Look at this Kane White poster we got. Like just look at this character. It's just like chef's kiss. Like that is fantastic. Like again, we're talking about like, like this like Japanese femme fatale babe who's just going to be with her superpowers, just running around Tokyo, just doing all this really, I say whack, all this like really cool stuff. So I'm really excited for the Curse, man. I say Cursed a bit more than a Black Eyed Club, but not that Black Eyed Club like with the Hellhounds, with the fact that it's taking place in Europe as well. That's going to tie into Forest Park, but it definitely seems like Michael and Lillian are going to be this like conduit for further exploring the Rippaverse just outside of Forest Park, not on the cosmic scale like we got with Zalen, where it's like on completely different planets and they're going through wormholes, and Zalen just gets out and just freaking stops his ship, traveling at the speed of light like a complete boss. That's like fantastical, right? It's outside of the Rippaverse, but it just doesn't inform you on what's going on in Paris, what's going on in Tokyo. We're going to learn that with these books, and I think that's really cool, and I'm really excited for that. So CJ also said Lillian's going to be really good. I think that kind of story is right up the Sasuke's alley. Yes, but it's only one of the Sasuke's that is writing this, and I believe it is, if I can get it correctly, yeah, Jen is writing the Curse, and then Sylvia is writing Black Eyed Club. And now, of course, it's like, who's going to win? Joker, are you for Jen? Are you for Sylvia? And for me, I'm not picking sides. I think they're both really exciting. But like I said, I'm edging it out that I'm a little bit more excited for the Cursed. So if I had to give a win, I would say it's Jen. But like I said, I really am like for both of these stories. I'm really excited for both of them. And of course, to me, the competition is just a friendly competition. In the same sense, when I joke about Andrew's addiction to boxed wine. I'm doing it because like it's become a bit of a meme, and that's like you're leaning into that because we like to have fun around here, and both the fans and the staff of the Reverse. So again, that's the meme. I'm sticking with the meme. Let's see here. So I got all these freaking things open, man. Absolutely love it, but. Anyways, you can close that poster there. Of course, you got your typical shirts and stuff like that. You got your signed and graded. So it's a pretty simple I want all package. You got your shirt poster for merch options. No hat options or anything like that. I know there's that Alpha Core hat that I was asked. I forget who asked me. If it might have been Garfield, but I was like, I don't need an Alpha Core hat. I've got the Horseman hat right here. I got a Yaira hat that I like, but I can put on my Horseman hat. I got my Blood Roof beanie. So I've got, and I've got, my Rippaverse hoodie, which I wear. But yeah, again, guys can see my Horseman hat. Let's see, we've got, let's see here. So we've got, let's see, we can open this image in a new tab. I mean, just look at this. So this does seem to be, of course, you got a spirit photographer here. She looks like this probably is Lillian dressed up as like a geisha or something like that. And then, of course, you've got like, this is like a yokai, I believe. So like Japanese, yeah. So yeah, oh yeah, Garfield asked a couple of streams ago about me getting, and I was like, I have so much freaking merch, man, that it just doesn't make sense for me. But anyways, and like I said, most of the hats, like I've got a very big noggin. So only a couple of the hats like actually fit me well. The Horseman hat and the Yaira hat, they fit me very well. The other ones, like I love them, but they don't really fit me that well. Like the Zalen hat, like I love it, it just doesn't fit me that well. And the same thing with I think one of the other ones. It might have been like another Isom hat. I can't exactly remember. But this Horseman hat, it fits me very well. It's one I when I was at Pork Fest this year, I was wearing it all the time. To protect my head from sunburn. Yeah, it's definitely one that'll be wearing like back in the summertime, like when I do like summer hiking, because there's 48 4,000 footers. Not all of them are like exact. They're not all exactly 4,000 feet, but they're like 4,000 feet or more. Like Mount Washington's like 6,000. Like Tecumseh is just a bit over. For like Osceola is like the same. I don't think Lafayette's a 4,000 footer. But anyways. I want to hike all 48 of them in the calendar year. What would I do? That means I will be hiking in the summer. So bust out the hat. But for now, it's beanie and baklava balaclava, however you say it, and snowshoe weather at this point. Basically, like there's a lot of snow in the sticks. I was I think I was saying this, but I was in the sticks last weekend, like way up north, like 2 hours from where I'm at, and there was snow. It was nice, and it was like it's got real icy really quickly where I was hiking, with my friends, or yeah, I guess acquaintance and a friend. but anyways, and it just got icy really quick. So, and it's like I said, it's like basically all day it's been below freezing. Like I got up hit the gym a little after. No, it was probably was it? It was 5 something, I think. I don't know what time it was. It's like, yeah, it was like around 5, 6 a.m. No, it's like around 5:30ish. I was at the gym, but it's like 22 degrees. And it didn't get much warmer. So it's been like consistently like below freezing, maybe got just to like 40 degrees. But it is basically it's wintertime to me. It feels like winter. Does not feel warm at all. It feels like how it would like the beginning of winter would back in New York for me, where I was, because I'm farther up north, and it's just only going to get colder. Honestly, and I like it. I'm down for it. And CJ says the Blue Horseman hat is the best one from the reverse. I am inclined to agree. This one is certainly really cool. You got the Horseman logo right there. I think when I was at PorkFest, someone asked me like, "What's Horseman?" I was like, "It's a comic book. It's a really cool one." So it is free advertising. But yeah, like I wore this hat like all the time when I was at PorkFest to protect my head from sunburn, and that worked well for me. And that was a really fun time. And that was back in June, man. Man, my that changed my entire life. Just that 1 week. And then of course it was all the weeks after that that like cemented the change, because I was like, oh man, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I met people, and I got my apartment. I got all these jobs, and just stuff you do when you move to a different part of the country. And I feel like it's still all ongoing, and we'll see how it all ends up for me. But this is from the Black Eye Club. Of course, we see a murder here. Of course, this is a one-page spread. Absolutely love this. So we've got, let's see, the artist for Black Eye Club. So you got Atakan Ilhan and Janez Holland, who I believe is a color, or Janez Holland's an inker. Colorist Gilhem Lindbergh. And then let's see if we can get the cursed artists here. If I can go for the cursed part 1, we can X. Who, yeah, artist Krazam Zamora, and then Marco Lesko is the colorist for the cursed. So let's see. Garfield said, I've had a cop compliment my Great War shirt with Absolute Zero on it, the light blue shirt. I'm not sure if I have that one. I think I've got a Brian Solari one. I remember a guy was like, oh, that's Braxwell. I'm like, no, it's Brian Solari. It's young Brian Solari when he was in Great War of Separation. It's like, oh, I haven't read that one yet. It's like, yeah, no, it's really good. So yeah, I remember, I think it was last year, I was wearing my Yaira shirt, and the guy walked up to me at PorkFest. Of course, PorkFest is a bunch of libertarians. So like it's going to be expected that if you're at PorkFest, then you're going to know who Eric July and what the reverse is. There are people who know, they just aren't into comic books, so they never got into it, which acceptable. But I remember this was last year, this was in 24. Guy was like, I was just walking along the path, because like it's not going to be at Rogers anymore. There's so many reasons why that's not going to be the case. I'm not sure if PorkFest is going to happen next year, which honestly I don't need it to happen next year. For me personally, since like the whole thing, like it got me to move to New Hampshire, and it's in the best part of the state, Coos County. It's North Country, and that's the best part of the state. But regardless, I remember I was just walking along. Some guy was driving to his campsite, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Yaira, I haven't read the book yet." And I was like, "Yeah, it's really good." And this was like, because Yaira it launched in March, and then it fulfilled just a bit after, if I remember correctly. So it was, I remember it being around the time it fulfilled, and I had read it and reviewed it, if I remember correctly. I could honestly go to the YouTube studio, do the channel dashboard, and search my Yaira review. Of course, we got to search for the initial Yaira #1 review because I made 3 Yaira reviews. Let's see, and I've typed Yaira #1 review. Here we go. Yeah, June 4th, 2024. So it fulfilled in June. So I think it was probably day of, typically how I do it. So yeah, it fulfilled like just before pork. So I had just read it. So that is the thing right there. And of course, that one got over 500 views for me. So it did good. Did good for me. But anyways, we've got I don't know what else I'm talking about, but yeah, very basic overview of the Great War, not the Great War separation. Yeah, I was reading Garfield's comment of the Black Eyed Club and the Cursed, right? We've got, I don't know, really exciting stuff. This definitely seems to be covering Europe and East Asia. So this is not going to be, like I said, it's not going to get them to Flores Park since both of these are 56 pages. So I imagine instead of, if these were like 96 pages each, then maybe I could see them starting in, Europe and, Japan respectively, and then working them into meeting each other and then going to Forest Park, from both of their perspectives. But I just don't see that being the case with this. Is going to be more focusing on their origins, which honestly, part of me really prefers that. And then, of course, if this is part 1 for both of them, then you can have these continue to go on, and then it's going to end with basically them meeting and going to Flores Park, basically in the position where they are at Bloodroof #1, where they're trying to establish themselves. And then, of course, the events of Bloodroof #1 are pretty shortly, it's slightly before what happens in Isom #1. So that's the way the timeline goes, of course. And then of course, Isom 2 is basically, well, of course, Isom 2 is right after. And I'll put the hat. I need to wash it. Oh man, and I was thinking about getting a haircut, but I'm just going to grow it out. Not spend the money. Honestly, I want to keep growing out the beard all winter because, like I said, it's getting cold, and like the I don't know, and the beard like really it insulates the face. Let's see. Garfield has got to go. I've been live streaming for almost an hour. This is like the touch-in I wanted to do. Basically, like I said, cover the Curse a little bit, cover the Black Eyed Club, talk about what I find to be interesting. And of course, we went over all the covers. We went over some of the interesting art. I'll go over a little bit more of the interesting art as well. I mean, I do like this, the way this boxing is done. And of course, this does seem to be her finding, her husband murdered, right? So this is going to be like the crux of the story. Absolutely love this. Like, it's got this like noir watercolor style. And then I think, of course, we can contrast that with this slightly cleaner, if I can find it. So we'll go and have this here. This is definitely a bit more of a, I would say cartoony style, but it definitely is a bit of a different style, and it's more like comic-y, right? Where this is like just feels like very much like watercolor noir. Let's see. So CJ is saying maybe Norfolk review next week. I don't think so. I got my shipment notification for Horseman #2. So it depends on when I get that. If I get it on time, let's say I can get it like Wednesday, I might be able to do it. But I wouldn't expect Norfolk, especially Norfolk, or even a Horseman #2 review from me until December. Just the way, because I'll be visiting my family Thanksgiving. So they could be coming in, like, let's say it comes in on Friday while I'm in New York. Then I'll have to go wait a couple of days, go back up that Sunday, and basically pick it up on Monday evening after work. So it'll be like December 1st, and then get them both, and then unbox them, and then read them, and then review them. So it'll probably be December. But I do hope to get some reviews out that I've been sitting on to do because I'm a lazy beach. biatch, or whatever word you want to use. And I should have reviewed these books months ago, but I want to get those reviews done before I go. Some Braxcast special episodes. So I do want there to be content for you guys to have. It's just that the Norfolka and Horseman stuff, it's going to probably be in December when I really dive into it and delve deep into it. And then, of course, I'll have the concept art book, and I'll go for the concept art book like I did for the Saints and Sinners book as well, or basically any concept art book. So that's all going to come down. So it's going to be a little bit of time. So I'd really love to be able to do it like as soon as I get it. It's just the fact that they're fulfilling basically around this week, which is Thanksgiving. Like I said, I'm going back to visit my family. It just means that like I won't be where my packages get sent. So I won't be able to do the fulfillment. If it was like how it was last year, where I was still living with them, right? And it just got like delivered to me, and I had the time off of work, then I could just get it all. I'd be having a field day. It's just not how it is though. Things are infinitely different in my life. Which I think is fortunate, but it is what it is, and it's not what it's not. So drafting the art, I think I've covered everything. Going for just over or just under an hour, I ought to say. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Anything else you guys want me to talk about? Anything else you guys felt like I did not cover? You can speak now or forever hold your peace. It seems not. Definitely thank you to CJ, Garfield, Mike Has Bad Knees, Andrew for always being such a good sport. Hopefully he feels better. And then, of course, I think I mentioned Mike Has Bad Knees. Of course, we got Emily, all the people, everyone who I'm even forgetting. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream, but Joker is out.